everyone. Myself Harikrishnan. My roll number is 198008, and this is my World Weather Reporting presentation number 1 for the week February 10th to 16th. So let's get going. This is the plot from NCEP website. This is the mean temperature analysis plot for that particular week, and hence it is a week in February, second week in February. The sun is in the southern hemisphere, but not close to the equator particularly, but somewhere in this equator to 60-degree region. So hence we can see this higher temperature patches over this southern Africa, Australia, and this Latin American region. Whereas we can see very low temperatures in the polar regions and comparatively low temperatures in the subtropical regions. So the higher temperature in the Australian region might be due to the bushfires which happened a few weeks back from this particular week. So it might be causing this higher temperature in this particular region. So this is it. So now let's get into the events which happened in this particular week. The first one which I'm here to talk about is Storm Ciara. So this was a particularly strong extratropical cyclone, which was the first of a pair of European windstorms that formed in the North Atlantic region, and the second one was Dennis, which we'll come to later. And this was a very strong extratropical cyclone, and this caused widespread rain across the European region, and also this caused widespread damage too in this region. As you can see, this plot is from a Zoom Earth website, and you can see this low pressure system here. This is the Storm Ciara, and also you can see in this plot from Metophase, UK's meteorology department. You can see the wind patterns over here, and this is UK over here. So this was taken on, I guess, on February 9th or 7th. So this is Storm Ciara. Actually, this formed in the past week from February 10th, but the effect was still going on in this particular week. So I included this one also. So now when we come into the tropical region in the southern hemisphere, that is close to Australia, a tropical cyclone called UAC formed near Vanuatu. It is an island close to Australia, and you can see here in this particular plot. This is the storm UAC, and which was a Category 3 cyclone in the close to Australia, and this caused widespread rain across Australia. Okay, these are the different satellite images of this particular storm, and here in this graph you can see the path. It was formed near to this Vanuatu island, and then it came, and then it passed, then it hit the Australian region, Eastern Australia, that is the New Caledonia region, and the wind speeds were over about 120 km/h, and the central pressure of the cyclone was about 979 millibar, and this was on February 10th, and this strengthened into a Category 3 cyclone on the next day, and it caused very strong winds and widespread rainfall across Australia. We all know that Australia was suffering from heat and bushfires, and after this bushfires and all, this tropical cyclone USC brought very heavy rainfall to some regions in Australia, and many parts of Australia, including New South Wales and Sydney, was underwater, and Sydney also suffered the worst downpour event in the recent history. Okay, and here in this in this picture you can see these dark patches are the low pressure systems. So you can see mainly three low pressure systems here, one in the European region and one in close to Japan and one in Australia. So these three systems caused heavy damages to the particular areas. So we know about Storm Sierra and Storm Dennis in the North Atlantic region and USA over here. Okay. In Hawaii Islands close to near USA. So severe thunderstorms happened over there. This was big due to a cold upper low over this particular region. And as you can see from this video, you can see this clouds and the lightning flashes over this particular region. So this was a very severe thunderstorms and all, and you can see in this image the damage caused by the thunderstorms. So several regions were very badly affected. The winds were of very high speeds, and it was a very strong downpour too in this area. Now if we come into this African continent, here in South Africa was devastated by floods. So they were having heavy rainfall since February 7th and accompanied with thunderstorms and severe rain on February 10th. This made the situation even worse, and several cities including Johannesburg and Cape Town and a lot of other cities were underwater. Over 200 people have been displaced and several houses were damaged. So this was a quite devastating news from Africa. So these were due to this heavy thunderstorms and rainfall over this region. I was talking about Storm Ciara. I mentioned about Cyclone Dennis also. So a new deep low pressure system brought severe winds into England, Ireland, Wales, and Bay of Biscay on the February 12th night. Okay. So just a few days after the Storm Ciara, the European continent was battered with a new cyclone, and it was named Dennis. So the upper wave with the frontal system ejected off from Canada, as you can see from this video over here. So the system is ejected off from Canada. See, this is the cyclone Dennis, and you can see it is coming from the northwestern region, that is Canadian region, and developed into a hurricane force wind while moving across the North Atlantic. So you can see it is going in this direction and moving across this North Atlantic and moving into the Ireland and UK region, and hit the UK and many other parts of the European continent. So it brought severe winds to that particular region, and they were very devastated. Mentioned earlier, Dennis was a very strong extratropical cyclone. So the low pressure system formed on February 11th. It extremely deepened into a very explosive cyclone, and this process is called the cyclogenesis. The central pressure deepened from 980 millibar to 920 millibar, which is very low, and it was called a bomb cyclone. So the violent broad-field winds. The winds were of the winds brought waves in the sea up to 15 to 18 meters high, and this was one of the most intense North Atlantic cyclones ever we have witnessed. So, and the winds were up to 125 164 miles per hour, that is around 200 kilometers per hour, and the waves were about 15 to 18 meters high. So this brought heavy rainfall across UK, and UK had 6 weeks of rain in about 24 hours. So that is a quite heavy amount of rainfall. So as you can see, this is the path of Dennis and bombogenesis. This particular term means the formation of an explosive cyclone by very rapidly deepening the central pressure. So this is a low pressure sitting over the European region, and as you can see, this is Storm Sierra and this is Dennis. So these are the two storms which happened over a week difference in the North Atlantic Ocean, and this is the winds over those European region. And this image was taken from National School, and these were from other websites. Till now, we have encountered some very unfortunate extreme events. So now let's have a look at some happy event occurred in the Arctic. So Arctic sea ice reached the largest early February ice area in the past 11 years. So as you can see in this video over here, sorry, animation over here. So this is from Mercator Ocean Analysis, CVV the Europe. So you can see this ice growth over here. It has been what it went quite high, and it covered a lot of area in this early February time. So it even exceeded the 2001 to 2010 average size. Even though the overall wind across the Eurasia and North American region was very mild, this means a lot of cold air stayed in the polar region and helped to freeze more ice in the Arctic Ocean and surrounding areas. This might be one of the reasons for this rapid ice growth in this area. So we can see the season began at rather low levels, lower than 2012 here in this graph. See, this is the dotted dashed lines are for 2011-12, and this line is for 2019 to 20. So season began at a very low than this 2011-12 region, but after at February, mid-Jan to February, this crossed the 2011-12 mark, and the ice growth was above that particular region. So the stronger than the normal polar vortex might have helped this formation, maybe. So that's it. Look at an Arctic cold outbreak, which happened in the North American region. So an Arctic cold outbreak means the cold air mass sitting over the polar region slowly enters into the extratropical region, causing a very low temperatures wherever the air mass enters. So as we can see, the Arctic cold air mass entered this region over USA and Canada, causing a very low temperature below -10, -12 degrees Celsius over here. So so the pattern across the North American continent indicates strong bridging of the North Pacific and east of the US. See, you can see this temperatures over here and the temperature over here. So there's a very high temperature difference between them. So, and also widespread snowfall was also reported over these regions, and the temperatures were very low, okay, on these particular days. Another exciting event happened in this week was two extratropical systems sitting in the North Pacific and North Atlantic. This is a very rare event, and this happened on February 13th. And as you can see here, there are two systems, one in the North Pacific and one in the North Atlantic. So these two low pressure systems, and I think this one is Dennis, and this is another low pressure system in the North Pacific. So the North Pacific had a 953 millibar low pressure and central pressure, and 940 millibar in the North Atlantic area. See, also the North Atlantic system was much larger, and it was a bomb cyclone compared to this one in the North Pacific. So this was an exciting event which happened in that particular week. So now let's have a look at the floods happened in the states of Africa, Mozambique and Bolivia. So in Mozambique and Bolivia, they received heavy rainfall during this week and the first 2 weeks of February, and it paved way to a huge flood in the both provinces. Whereas Mozambique received 175 millimeter of rain in 24 hours, and Bolivia also received very huge rainfall. And a lot of people were displaced, and thousands of people lost their home, and a lot of fatalities were also there. Now let's have a look at another unfortunate extreme event which happened in the Antarctic region. Antarctic region measured an incredible new absolute temperature record of plus 20.7 degrees Celsius, which is very high compared uh, to the Antarctic region's new normal temperature. This is because an abnormally warm air mass was moving over the Antarctic Peninsula, that region. So this temperature was recorded not in the proper Antarctic region, but in the tip of the Antarctic peninsula. That is in the it is close to the extratropical region, but not in the extratropical region. So this is this is a sign of global warming, and this indicates how rapidly our temperatures of our planet is increasing, and how the ice melts, and how these cascading events are occurring in our world. So this is a strong implication of such events. We talked about two extratropical cyclones that occurred in the North Atlantic region, and which are very drastically affected the European continent. And now, ahead of this storm Dennis, Europe experienced very high temperatures in which are very remarkably high for mid-February, around 16 degree to 19 degrees Celsius at night time. Because of a very warm air mass sitting over this European continent, as you can see from this temperature anomaly plot. See, the temperatures were around 16 to 20 degree in most of the areas in Germany, Northwest Germany, Benelux, and Northern France, etc. So this was quite a remarkable temperature for the evening time in the winter month in the European region. So by this event, I conclude my presentation for the first week. These are the major events which happened in this week, and now we'll see what happened in the second week in our next presentation. Thank you.